Hi everyone! Today I will present our study title, The Effect of Digital Technology on Students' Interpersonal Skills. Interpersonal skills help students communicate and work effectively with others. Today, digital technology such as smartphones and online platforms is widely used by students. While it can improve communication, excessive use may reduce face-to-face interactions. Therefore, this study examines the impact of digital technology on students' interpersonal skills.
Now, we move on to the problem statement. In Malaysia, digital technology uptake among university students has increased rapidly over the past decade. Smartphone and social media applications include WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook have become a significant part of academic and social life. Students may miss opportunities to develop real-life social skills, such as reading non-verbal cues and expressing emotion, because of much of their communication happen online. People tend to speak less to each other and prefer to use mobile technology to communicate with those who are far away so that it can reduce face-to-face communication. Social media has connected to the level of emotional intelligence, implying that frequent use of digital media platform can affect how students understand and express their feelings in social relations. This indicates that social media can also reduce students' self-confidence when they interact with people in real life, which can influence interpersonal competence.
Now I'll be explaining about the research objective. The study consists of several research objectives. First, the study aims to identify the demographic profile of Faculty of Computer and Mathematical Science students at UiTM RAU, such as gender and background, to better understand the characteristics of the respondents. Next, the study focuses on investigating the relationship between digital technology and students' interpersonal skills. These activities include social media usage, online gaming, online shopping, digital screen time, and digital learning materials. Each of these factors is examined to determine whether they are associated with students' interpersonal skills. Finally, the study also aims to indicate whether there is a mean difference in daily screen time between male and female students. This objective allowed the study to compare screen time behavior based on gender. Overall, this objective helped provide a clearer understanding of how different forms of digital technology relate to the interpersonal skills of FSKM students at UiTM RAU.
Now, I will talk about methodology. In this research, our research design and method is non-experimental research design, and our research is exploratory research. And for our populations, our group take from all students from Faculty of Computer and Mathematical Science FSKM at University Technology Mara UiTM RAU Perlis. For our sample size, we only take 90 students from FSKM students for season October 25 until February 26. For our sampling designs, we use non-probability for convenient sampling. For data collections method, we use online questionnaire.
This slide presents the statistical method used in this study. First, descriptive statistics were used to describe the demographic profile of FSKM students using frequencies, percentage, and mean values. Next, presence correlation analysis was used to examine the relationship between social media usage, online shopping, and digital learning materials with interpersonal skills. This test was chosen because the variables are numeric scale-level variables, and the objective was to identify the strength and direction of their relationship. An independent empathy test was used to compare mean difference, specifically to analyze online gaming and interpersonal skills, as well as to determine the difference in daily screen time between male and female students. Lastly, different statistical tests were used for digital screen time because each question involved a different type of variable. Simple linear regression was used to assess whether daily screen time can predict interpersonal skills. The chi-square test was applied when digital screen time before bedtime was categorized to examine association between variables. And presence correlation was used for mean screen time control behavior, as these were measured as scale-level variables. Overall, the selection of tests was based on the type of variables and research objectives. Presence correlation analysis was conducted to investigate the relationship between social media usage and interpersonal skills among FSKM students at UiTM RAU. In this study, mean social media usage and mean social skills were computed by averaging multiple questionnaire items, resulting in numeric scale-level variables, because both variables are continuous and measured on a scale level. Pearson correlation is appropriate to assess the strength and direction of their linear relationship. The null hypothesis states that there is no significant correlation between mean social media usage and mean social skills, while the alternative hypothesis states that there is a significant correlation between the two variables. The result shows that the Pearson correlation coefficient is R equals to 0.401 with a p-value less than 0.001 based on a sample size of 90 students. This indicates a moderate positive correlation between social media usage and social skills. Since the p-value is less than significant level of 0.05, the null hypothesis is rejected. In conclusion, there is a significant relationship between social media usage and interpersonal skills, where higher social media usage is associated with higher social skills among the students.
Next is second test, which is independent t-test of online gaming. It was to analyze the relationship between online gaming and the interpersonal skill of FSKM student at UiTM Arau. The question is, do you think gaming has become the dominant activity in your daily life? The hypothesis testing. H0 is there is no significant difference between the mean score, social skill, and gaming dominant life. For H1, there is significant difference between the mean social skill and gaming dominant life. For the test statistic, we get living test indicate equal variance, which is F equals to 0.723, and p-value we get 0.603, which is more than 0.05. Statistic, we get living test indicates equal variance, F equals to 0.273, and p-value we get 0.603, which is more than 0.05. The decision is there was no significant difference in mean social skill between the two groups. P-value is 0.526, so null hypothesis is failed to reject. Question is, have you lost interest in previous hobby and other entertainment activity as a result of your engagement with the game? Hypothesis testing is, for H0, there is no significant difference between the mean score social skill and gaming lost interest. For H1 is, there is a significant difference between the mean score social skill and gaming lost interest. And for the test statistic, we get living test indicate equal variance, which is F equals to 0.24, and p-value equals to 0.625, which is more than 0.05. For the decision, there was no significant difference in mean social skill between the two groups. P-value is 0.679, so null hypothesis is failed to reject. For the third question, have you deceived any of your family members, therapists, or others because the amount of your gaming activity? So hypothesis testing for the H0 is there is no significant difference between the mean score social skill and gaming dissection. And for H1, there is a significant difference between the mean score social skill and gaming deception. The test statistic we get living test indicate equal variance, F equals to 0.199, p-value equals to 0.657, which is more than 0.05. And for the decision, there was no significant difference in mean social skill between the two groups. P-value equals to 0.891, so null hypothesis is failed to reject. For the last question is, do you play in order to temporarily escape or relieve a negative mood? For example, helplessness, guilt, and anxiety. We get hypothesis testing for H0 is there is no significant difference between the mean score social skill and gaming mood escape. And for the H1 is there is a significant difference between the mean score social skill and gaming mood escape. Test statistic we get living test indicate equal variance 2, F equals to 0.386, and p-value we get 0.536, which is more than 0.05. For the decision, we get there was no significant difference in mean social skill between the two groups. P-value equals to 0.107, so null hypothesis is failed to reject.
Okay, the next is Pearson correlation between online shopping and social skills. Our objective is to examine the relationship between online shopping and interpersonal skill in FSKM student at UiTM Arau. The null hypothesis is there is no significant correlation between mean online shopping and mean social skills. The H1 is there is significant correlation between mean online shopping and mean social skill, and the test statistic is 0.255. The critical value is 0.015. And the decision is the correlation analysis results show that there exists a low positive correlation social skills. Since the p-value is less than 0.05, the null hypothesis is rejected. This indicates the higher online shopping is associated with higher social skills among the students.
For this section, we conducted a linear regression analysis to examine the effect of daily digital screen time on students' mean social skills. Looking at the model summary, the R value indicates a weak relationship between daily screen time and mean social skills. The R square value show that only 4.6% of the variation in social skills score is explained by daily screen time. This means that while screen time has some effects, most of the variation in social skill is explained by other factors. Next, the ANOVA table shows that the regression model is statistically significant with F equal to 4.266 and P equal to 0.042 since P less than 0.05. Daily screen time is significantly predict social skill, although the effect is small. Finally, the coefficient show the direction and strength of the relationship. The constant is the expected social skill score when screen time is 0. Daily screen time has a coefficient of B equal to 0.098, meaning social skill increase slightly with each additional hour. The standardized beta of 0.215 indicate a big positive relationship and the effect is statistically significant. In conclusion, daily digital screen time has a small but significant positive effect on students' social skills. The chi-square test examines the relationship between the duration of digital screen time before bedtime and mean social skill. The results show a chi-square value of 13.114 with 14 degrees of freedom and a p-value of 0.518. So the p-value is greater than 0.05. We have to reject the null hypothesis. Therefore, we can conclude that there is no significant association between the duration of digital screen time before bedtime and students' social skills. We move on to the Pearson correlation analysis. Results show a very weak positive correlation with a correlation coefficient of R equal to 0.047 and the p-value obtained 0.658, which is greater than 0.05. Since the p-value is greater than significance level, the null hypothesis failed to be rejected. Therefore, we can conclude that there is no significant relationship between digital screen time and students' interpersonal skills.
Now, I will talk about Pearson's correlations. In this slide, I will explain about to investigate the relationship between digital learning material and the interpersonal skills of FSKM student at UiTM Arab. And firstly, we go to hypothesis. We have H0 and H1. For H0, there is no significant correlation between mean digital learning material and mean social skill. For H1, there is significant correlation between the mean digital learning material and mean social skill. Next, we go to test statistic, that is our significant value is 0.439. The p-value must be lower than 0.05. Next, we go to the critical value. Our alpha is 0.05 and our decision rule is to reject H0 if the p-value lower than 0.05. So we go to this decision and conclusions. As we can see, we got the p-value is lower than 0.05. So there exists moderate correlation between mean of digital learning materials and mean of social skill. Since p-value is less than 0.05, the H0 is rejected. So our conclusion is there is a significant correlation between mean of digital learning material and the mean of social skill. Now I will talk about independent t-test. This is to indicate the mean difference between daily screen time for male and female FSKM students at UiTM Arab. So for the hypothesis, the H0 is there is no significant difference in the mean daily screen time between male and female students. Meanwhile, the H1 is there is significant difference in the mean daily screen time between male and female students. So the analysis is how do we get the conclusions? The variance of two populations are equal in the table above. So we indicate that we take the assumption that it is equal variance sums. So our p-value is equal to 0.538, that is bigger than 0.05. So as you can see, we fail to reject H now. So we conclude that there is no significant difference in the mean daily screen time between male and female students.
In conclusion, this study highlights that social media, online gaming, online shopping, digital screen time, and digital learning material play a crucial role in our interpersonal skills. Based on objective and the result obtained show that social media and digital learning material have enough evidence to conclude that there is significantly related to the main social skill of FSKM student at UiTM Arau. According to research, purposeful use of social media can result in positive interpersonal outcome relationship maintenance, which may enhance communication competencies. From this study, the research understands more about interpersonal skills and suggests ways to manage student time to not overuse the online world.